Hello, everyone.
Hello, Rob.
How's it? How are you? Are you, Mark?
Rob. Good.
Are you okay? Janet,
Baruch
are you okay?
Hashem. Are you good, Rob?
Baruch Hashem. Are you all safe?
God sei Danken. God sei Danken.
Good. Hello, Gabriel. Thank you for joining
Rob.
us. Hello, Dr. Liz. How's it? How are you?
How are you? Baruch
Nice
Hashem.
seeing you
Rob.
with us.
Good
Baruch
to see
Hashem, and I see you always better. Hello, Linda. How are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks, Rabbi.
Good. Nice seeing you all. Any news, guys? What you telling me?
No
Liz,
news is good news, Rob.
Liz, I wanted to ask you, I saw that the number in Eretz Israel
It's gone up terribly.
shooting up.
Yeah.
Shooting up. It reached to 3,000 from yesterday to today. They found 3,000, close to 4,000 people.
Going up.
Yeah, it's going up. It really is.
It's really scary, huh?
It's scary, and unfortunately, a lot of, I don't want to mention the names of some very kosher rabbanim, have said we don't need to test, because if we test, then we won't be able to learn. So it's difficult. And then there are those who want to go to Oman. And it's just meshuggah. So there's a Dr. Miskin who's a world expert. He was our family doctor. He's a physician in infectious diseases. And he said, doctors don't go to world conferences. So why would people want to go to Oman? It's so dangerous. So in his opinion, there's no chiyuv to go. And he said one shouldn't go. So it's causing a lot of problems in the community.
I know that many of the Gedolim doesn't agree with that.
Yeah,
to go to Oman. Many of the Gedolim doesn't agree.
A lot done, yeah. Anyway, we should just have good news and
Please God. Yeah. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Hello, Sean. How's it? How are you? Nice seeing you all. We're going to start the show.
Thanks to you, Rabbi.
Good. I'm so happy to see you with us again. It's nice to see you all. It's beautiful. Who else with us? I can see now who's joining us. Who's joined that I didn't say hello? Wait, I missed some. Hello, Ivanovich. Hello, Mr. Ivanovich. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Okay, so before I'm gonna mute the show, I'm gonna delegate the show Leilui Nishmat.
Daniela Baila Bat Yaakov Ruvain.
דניאלה ביילה בת יעקב ראובן, ולעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציה, ולעילוי נשמת מרדכי בן רחמה, ולרפואת מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, ליאור בת
Ezra Leib ben Shana Razel.
עזרא לייב בן שינה רייזל. Anyone else?
Avraham ben Freidel.
אברהם בן פריידול, לירון בן שרית,
Mordechai Moshe ben Freida.
מרדכי משה בן זיידה.
Freida.
And who else?
Batya bat Nechama.
בתיה בת נחמה. אוקיי. אל נא רפאלנה להם. Please God, רפואה שלמה. בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. I'm going to mute everyone. Mark, you unmute yourself. You know how to do that. It's not a problem. We're going to start the show, Parashat Ki Tavo. Rabotai, we're almost in the end of Sefer Dvarim. Can you believe? We're almost Rosh Hashanah. Okay? בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. והיה כי תבוא אל הארץ, אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך. נחלה וירשת וישבת בה.
It will be when you enter the land that Hashem your God gives you as an inheritance, and you possess it and dwell in it.
Okay. It will be, but in Hebrew, vehaya, Hazal say, and I'm going to bring actually the commentary of Rabbi Haim ben Attar. Rabbi Haim ben Attar, born in the city of Sali in Morocco 324 years ago. And in his commentary, Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he explained like this. It said, Vehaya, the word Vehaya, and it shall be. Wherever the word Vehaya mentioned, okay, Hazal say in Midrash Bereshit Rabbah, in chapter 42, verse 3, that the word Vehaya referring to joy and happiness. And immediately come the question, what are you talking Vehaya? And it should be happiness, joy. And he explained like this. The idea is behind it, explain the Rabbi Chaim ben Atar, and he said like this. He said, Bnei Israel, while they was in the wilderness, they never missed nothing. They wanted food, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought manna from heaven. They wanted water, they have the well of Miriam. They wanted to wash themselves, they wanted laundry, they wanted protection from the heat, they wanted aircon. They have one thing. What did they have? The cloud of glory. And Hazal tell us especially in the beginning of Sefer Dvarim, in chapter 2, in verse 7, Hashem Elokecha imecha lo hasarta davar. That means that while you was in a wilderness, and you have everything, and you didn't miss nothing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu provide you, a matter of fact, with everything that you needed. That means that you was short with nothing. And though so, it doesn't consider Vehaya. What it means Vehaya? It will be when you come into the country. What it means to the country? Vehaya ki tavo el haaretz. Which country? Eretz Israel, obviously. Say, Rabbi Chaim ben Atar like this. It said that you know when a person happy? When we traveling, when are we happy? When we reach the destination. He said, you know when you should be happy? When you reach the final destination. Where is the final destination? It's Eretz Israel. And that's what you must remember. That although that everything you have in a diaspora, we all live in a diaspora. And we think that we have everything. No, maybe we have. He said, but that's not the happy and the joy. You know when you should be happy? When you settle in Eretz Israel, when you live in Eretz Israel, that's your final. And then said the Abir Yaakov. The Abir Yaakov, that was Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hatzera. Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hatzera born in the city of Tiflat. He born in Morocco 216 years ago. And he said, we all know that the word Vehaya, it's happy, it's joy. He said, but I don't understand. Hazal tell us something very important. Hazal tell us in Midrash Rabbah, in chapter 3, verse 13, they say a person that have 100, won 200. A person that have 200, won 400, and etc. He says, so how can you say Vehaya? How can a person can be happy? How can it be that a person will ever be happy? Because if he have 1 rand, he won 2 rand. When he have 100 rand, he won 200 rand. When he have 200 rand, he won 400 rand. It's never stopped. A person never stopped. So how can you say to me that the word Vehaya refer to happiness? A person never happy. So he said that like this. Look how he answered. And he bring what Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Yoma, 38, folio 2. Lamet Hayt Amud Bet. And he said like this. Veda shehakol bidei shamayim. He bring what Hazal saying in the Gemara. And Hazal say, Veda shehakol bidei shamayim. That means, first of all, you must know that everything is from heaven. Ve'en adam nogea bema shemuchan lehavero kimlo nima. He said like this. You have to remember one thing. If you go into Eretz Israel, when you settle in Eretz Israel, you have to understand that everything is from heaven. And no one can touch what belongs to you, even like the thickness of the hair. And if you live like this, then you can live besimcha. And then you can enjoy Vehaya. That's mean a person that live here, live in Eretz Israel, wherever a person want to live, it doesn't make a difference. You know how you can live b'simcha say? He said, look what Hazal tell us. Hazal tell us that you must understand that everything from heaven. What does it mean, everything from heaven? Sometime person was standing in a traffic light and someone hoot behind him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told that man to irritate you, to hoot. Sometime you get shouted by someone. It's all from Shamayim. That means everything that happened to us. I don't want to say the difficult thing. I'm talking about light thing. He said that everything is from Shamayim, Hazal tell us. And if you live with this kind of idea, that everything is from heaven. Whatever happened to me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu want me to have a bit of aggravation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu want me to have a bit of an uphill. If you live with that, you're the happiest man. Why? Because you know that if you have 10 rand, no one can take the 10 rand from you. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't command anyone to take the 10 rand. But if someone crooked you, that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told that man that he can crook you, giving him a permission. And if you live with this kind of ideas that everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not the human being that doing it to me, you'll be the happiest man. Why? Because everything from Shamayim. And if everything from Shamayim, it's from our Father in heaven, there's nothing better. Sometimes we know when the child is naughty, the father give him a potch and a toches. Why? Not because he hated him. Has v'shalom. The father want to discipline the child. And when a person see the difficulty, you have difficulty in life, you must say to yourself, hey, let me stop 1 second and understand where's all of it come. It's come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He put you there, he will take you out of it. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you challenge, he put you there. He obviously going to take you. Said the Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hatzera, if you live with what Hazal tell us, there's nothing to worry. Why? Because then you're going to understand and you're going to believe that there's nothing to worry. What are you worrying about? Everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He giving you the challenge. He will help you to pass that challenge. Sometimes the challenge is a bit more difficult. Yes. It's easy to say, but that's how we have to live. And if we live with this kind of idea, kind of analogy, we have nothing to worry. And that's what it means, v'haya. What it means, v'haya, Leshon Simcha. Leshon Simcha is happiness. When are you going to be happy? When you live and you understand that you get your final destination, and also nothing going to happen without HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rashi HaKadosh say on it, because here they're speaking about the Parashat Bikurim. Listen what Rashi say. רש"י הקדוש מגיד שלא נתחייבו ביקורים עד שכבשו את הארץ וחילקוה. That means, Rashi say that Bnei Israel didn't obligate to bring bikurim until they conquer Eretz Israel and they split the land according to what there is in a goral, in a lottery. That means that not enough to conquer Eretz Israel. Once that you have the lottery, that means each one took a lottery, each tribe, and then they're giving them their own portion. That's how they worked it out. So Rashi say, only then you obligate to bring the mitzvah of bikurim. What is bikurim? It's the first fruit, okay, that grown on your vineyard, or the first fruit that grown on your orchard, and etc. So the Malbin was Rabbi Meir Lebush ben Yehiel Michal. He born in Ukraine 211 years ago. And in his commentary on the Torah, he explained like this. He explained that Be'emet, like Rashi said. Rashi said that Bnei Israel didn't have to bring Bikurim until they conquer the land, until they divide the land, and each one got his portion. But he said, you know what was the merit that helped Bnei Israel to get to Eretz Israel? That they took on themselves, even before they enter Eretz Israel, they accepted the mitzvah that as they're going to enter Eretz Israel, they're going to bring the Bikurim, the mitzvah of Bikurim, and the merit of that will help them to enter Eretz Israel and to conquer Eretz Israel and to settle in Eretz Israel. So he said, from here you learn something very interesting. What do you learn here? You learn that the mitzvah Bikurim, in the merit of the mitzvah Bikurim, we merit to receive the land of Eretz Israel. By that we give the first fruit to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we merit to enter Eretz Israel. And now, the next thing that we're going to speak now is verse 2. And look what's happening in verse 2. In verse 2, it says something very interesting. ולקחת מראשית כל פרי האדמה, אשר תביא מארצך, אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך, ושמת בתנה, והלכת אל המקום אשר יבחר השם אלוהיך לשכן שמו שם.
That you shall take of the first of every fruit of the ground that you bring in from your land that Hashem your God gives you, and you shall put it in a basket, and go to the place that Hashem your God will choose to make his name rest there.
Okay, so there is here two different questions about this verse. The first question that it says, ולקחת מראשית, מראשית at the beginning. Why it's a מראשית? Why doesn't it say the first fruit? הפרי הראשון, ולקחת מפרי הראשון. It doesn't say that. In English, they did translate it like this. But it says מראשית. No. ראשון מכל פרי האדמה. That's question number one. What does it say? Also, we have to understand, why does it say like this? It says pri ha'adama. What does it mean, pri ha'adama? The fruit of the land. And there is a question, why the fruit of the land and not the fruit of the tree? Question number one. Question number two, why we have to bring Bikurim? Why do we have to bring the mitzvah of Bikurim? That's question number two. Be'ezrat Hashem will answer all of those. So the first question that we ask, why does it say, Mireshit kol pri adama? Pri adama. That question been asked by Maharam ben Haviv. What does it mean, Maharam? Morenu Arav Rabbi Moshe ben Haviv. He born in the city of Saloniki 366 years ago. Saloniki, it's in Greece. And he, by the way, was a Rishon LeZion. What does it mean, Rishon LeZion? It's the chief Sephardi rabbi in Israel. He born in Saloniki, then he moved to Eretz Israel, and he became the big chief rabbi. And he asked that question, why you say Kol Pri Adama? We know that Te'ena is a fig, Tamar is a date. Those fruit that we say Bore Pri Ha'etz. Rimon, it's a pomegranate, we say Bore Pri Ha'etz. Anavim, that it's grapes, we say Bore Pri Ha'etz. So how come did you tell me Bore Pri Adama? Why is it? Why is the Torah mentioned specifically Bore Pri Adama? Because we know that the Bikurim, it's the Mishivat Aminim. What it means, Shivat Aminim? The 7 species, like you all know. So he said, but if you look, most of them, they are Bore Pri Ha'etz, except Hita V'Sora, that's all. So why are you telling me that? Very valid question. Listen how we answer it. Why is the Torah say Bore Pri Adama? Maharam ben Haviv bring the Mishnah in Masechet Bikurim. The Mishnah in Masechet Bikurim in chapter 3, verse 1, Mishnah 1. Listen what he said. He said like this. Haro'eh te'ena shebikra. What it means, haro'eh te'ena shebikra? A person that have a vineyard, orchard, and he saw the figs starting to grow. Kosher zviva gemi. The first fig that grow up, that's starting to grow, it means unripe fruit. Immediately, what do you have to do? You have to mark it. Kosher zviva gemi. Gemi is kind of a rope. Why? That he have to take that first fruit when it's ready to Bet HaMikdash. And the same he'll do with all the other first fruit that he had. Okay? He said, well, you know why the Torah told us? Why the Torah told us Borei Pri Adama? He said like this. If you look at the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch been written by Rabbi Yosef Karo. Rabbi Yosef Karo, Maran Shulchan Aruch, he born in the city of Toledo in Spain 532 years ago. And he said like this, in Siman Rav, it means 202, okay? Seif Bet, that means verse 2. He said, Ha'ochel pri boser, a person that eat unripe fruit. What is the brocha? Mevarech borei pri adama. The blessing is borei pri adama. He said, what's happened here? The Torah tells us that the first fruit that you see growing, it's unripe, tied it with a rope to remind you, to give you a sign that that's the first fruit, and that's the fruit that you have to take. When you gone down to your orchard, to your vineyard, and you see the first fruit, what did you saw it? You saw it start growing. That means that it's unripe. You can't eat it. It's not ready to eat. But if you want to eat it, what's the brocha on it? Borei Pri Adama. He say in that case, the Torah tells us, Mereshit kol Pri Adama. Dafka at the beginning, when the fruit is not ready, you have to mark it. And when you mark that that's the fruit, what's the condition of that fruit? What's the brocha on it? Borei Pri Adama. In that case, Mereshit kol Pri Adama. I saw another commentary of the Gaon Hida. The Gaon Hida going to answer the second question that we ask. We ask, what is the benefit of bringing Bikurim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't eat it. But really, what's the secret behind it? Now we're speaking about the sod. What it means sod? The hidden behind it. The Gaon Hida, Rabbi Yosef Azulai, born in Jerusalem 296 years ago. And in his book, Rosh David, he wrote many books. All of his book, he wrote about the body organ, the human being organ. And in his book, Rosh David, the head of David, he called it. There, he wrote something extraordinary. And he bring a beautiful answer. And he said like this. He said that we all know that when Adam HaRishon eaten from the tree of knowledge, what happened after that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Sefer Bereshit, in chapter 3, verse 17, what did he say there? Arora Adama Biglalecha. That means that the main reason that the land gonna be cursed is because you eaten from the tree of knowledge. In Tikkunei HaZohar, in Tikkun Memchet 48, in Tikkun 48, listen what the Zohar says. By the way, Tikkun Memchet, it's Bereshit Taman. It starts with the word Bereshit. Bereshit Taman, okay? There it says like this. It said that in the same day that Adam HaRishon been eaten from the tree of knowledge, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought 39 curses to the world. What does it mean? He cursed Adam HaRishon with 10 curses. Hava with 10. The snake with 10, that's 30. He said, but 9 curses, the land. And we say, what do we know? That it's a kotz v'dardar. That means that the land will bring weeds and thorns. That means that until then, you didn't have to have thorns. You didn't have weeds. And Hazal say, la'atid lavo, when Mashiach comes, a person will have to plant 1 in 7 years. That's it. He plants once this year, 7 years, nothing, garnished. Everything gonna grow up. That means the prosperity and the abundance gonna be beautiful. So he say like this, because when they eat from the tree of knowledge, that's what it says, velakahta mireshit. What it means mireshit? From the beginning. What it means the beginning? That means you have to remember, by that you bring in the bikurim, by that you bring in the first fruit to Bet HaMikdash, you actually rectifying the avon, that means the sin that Adam HaRishon did. So we learn from here that the main reason, according to the sod, not to the pshat. The pshat is to show gratitude that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a tree, given us fruit that growing, okay, to show gratitude. That's on pshat of the dvarim. But on the sod, by that I bring bikurim to Bet HaMikdash, I'm rectifying, number 1, the avon that done Adam HaRishon from eating from the tree of knowledge, and number 2, okay, what are we doing? We're doing a rectifying that for that sin, but also we're changing. What are we changing? We're changing the curse to a brocha. By that I'm bringing fruit to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm actually doing 2 secret things. What is the one? Is rectifying the sin of Adam HaRishon. Number 2, I'm actually doing atonement to the ground to change the curse to a blessing. Now we can understand why we have to bring bikurim, why there is mitzvah bikurim. Let's continue with verse 5. And verse 5 speak about something interesting. Verse 5 reminds us of our grandfather. Not the nice grandfather, the worst grandfather. Who's our worst grandfather? Lavan. Let's look. וענית ואמרת לפני אדוני אלוהיך ארמי עובד אבי וירד מצרימה ויגור שם במתי מעט ויהי שם לגוי גדול עצום ורב.
Then you shall call out and say before Hashem your God, an Aramean tried to destroy my forefather. He descended to Egypt and sojourned there, few in number, and there he became a nation, great, strong, and numerous.
If we look at the book of Dvarim, it's a rebuke book. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu come here? And saying to Bnei Israel and remind them about the grandfather, about our grandfather Lavan. Another grandfather like this, and one grandfather, look how much sorrow he done to us. And we'll see now. That question been asked by Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh born in the city of Andripoli 513 years ago. And he said, I don't understand. Moshe Rabbeinu come to rebuke Bnei Israel, where they sin in the wilderness, where they make HaKadosh Baruch Hu upset. What is Yetziat Mitzrayim, going down to Egypt, the Aramite? What is all of that have to do with the rebuking of the wilderness? It's a very valid question. What's the connection? Listen how he answered it. The Al-Sheikh HaKadosh explained like this. He said, it's all well known that Rachel Imenu was supposed to bring the 12 tribes. She was supposed to be the mother of the 12 tribes. But what happened? Lavan, her father, swapped Leah instead of her. That means he given Leah to Yaakov Avinu. And Yaakov Avinu, when he married Leah, they have the first child who? Reuven. He said, but if Lavan wouldn't swap Leah with Rachel, that means he wouldn't swap Leah, and he gave Rachel to Yaakov, what will happen? Who will be born first? Yosef. Yosef's supposed to be the Bechor. He said, you know why were you gone to Egypt? Because of jealousy. What was the jealousy? Hazal explained. Because Yaakov Avinu made a striped garment to who? To Yosef. Because he made the striped garment, they was jealous of him. And because they was jealous of him, they sold him to Egypt. So he said like this. He said that, learn from here. If Lavan wouldn't swap, Yosef will be the firstborn. And if Yosef will be the firstborn, the brother wouldn't be jealous of him. Why? Because it's well known that the firstborn entitled for double than everyone else. So they wouldn't be jealous. But because Yosef wasn't the Bechor and Reuven was the Bechor, but Yaakov adore so, giving him the striped garment, what happened? The brother was jealous. And because they was jealous, they sold him to a slave to who? Until he reached to Egypt. And in Egypt, he became a slave. And that's what caused you to go down to Egypt, to be for slavery for so many years. And then what happened? You have to go into the wilderness. That means that Moshe come here to remind us how dangerous is jealousy. And that's the connection. The rebuking here is not only just the wilderness. Remember what caused you to go to Egypt. What caused you from Egypt to go to the wilderness. Why? Because if you wouldn't be in Egypt, you didn't have to go to the wilderness. Now we understand. Sorry. I needed to drink something. My throat is dry. So it's come to tell us, say Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, that the main idea behind it is to remind us that the tribe sold Yosef to who? To Egypt. Why? Because they was jealous. To warn us from jealousy. Let's continue with verse 8. And in verse 8, the Torah tells us like this, ויוציאנו אדוני ממצרים ביד חזקה ובזרוע נטויה ובמורא גדול ובאותות ובמופתים.
Hashem took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and with an outstretched arm, with great awesomeness and with signs and with wonders.
Okay, here we see Hazal explained in a Sifri, also in Agada, that the word with strong arm, what it means strong arm, when we say it in Agada, ze adever. Adever, it's the plague that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought on the animal of Egypt, that is become sick with a special disease. And immediately the Mefarshim ask, wait, we don't understand. Why Dafka, the strong arm, not the stretch arm, the strong arm, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider it as dever? Why only that? Why not others? It's a very good question. So the commentary I'm going to bring is the commentary of Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Al-Kabetz. Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Al-Kabetz, born 515 years ago in the city of Saloniki. Saloniki is a city in Greece. And in his book, Brit HaLevi, the Covenant of the Levi, By the way, just to give you the general knowledge, Rabbi Shlomo Levy Alkabetz, he wrote the famous song that we sing every Friday night, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, wrote by Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz. If you look carefully, the acronym there, okay, you'll see that after Lecha Dodi, it starts Shin, Lamed, Mem, Hey, to remind his name. So there he put his name, Lecha Dodi. Okay. So he explained like this, and he said, do you know why it said Beyat Hazakah Dafka from all the 10 plagues that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought on Egypt, Dafka, the strong hand, consider as Dever, that means the plague of Dever, it's the strong one. Why? He explained like this. He said, if you look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't harden the heart of Pharaoh until Makat Dever. That means Dam, Sfardea, Kinim, Arov, all of those 4 plagues, who hardened his heart? Himself. Pharaoh hardened his own heart. He said that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Pharaoh is so stubborn and so hard, he said, I'll show you what it means to be hard. I'll show you my strong arm. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened his heart that he will never let Bnei Israel go and leave Egypt. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring on him the rest of the difficult plagues that he brought on him. It will be harder. That means until Makat Dever, remember that? Pharaoh hardened his heart. He didn't want to release Bnei Israel. Say Rabbi Shlomo Levy Alkabetz, he said, you know why is it? He wanted to harden, I given him 4 plagues. I see that he doesn't want to get soft. Now I'll show him what it means to be hard. And from there, from Makat Dever, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he brought on him all the heart, his strong arm. Now we understand why it says, Vayotzienu Hashem miMitzrayim beyat hazakah. As we say in Agada, beyat hazakah zo hadever. Now we can understand. Let's move to verse 11. And here we see something very interesting. In verse 11, the Torah tells us, V'samachta bechol atov asher natan lecha Hashem Elokecha, ולביתך, אתה והלוי והגר אשר בשעריך.
You shall rejoice with all the goodness that Hashem your God has given you, and your household, you and the Levite and the proselyte who's in your midst.
Okay. Here we see that the Torah tells us that you should joy, you should be happy with all the abundance, all the goodness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless you with. And immediately, there is a question, and the question been asked by Rabbi Yaakov Haim. Rabbi Yaakov Haim, born 166 years ago, and he wrote the book Tzitzim Uprahim. Okay, flower and buds. That's the name of the book. Rabbi Yaakov Haim was the only son of the Ben Ish Hai, Rabbi Yosef Haim. The Ben Ish Hai have only one son. His name is Rabbi Yaakov Haim. And in his book, Rabbi Yaakov Haim, the son of the Ben Ish Hai, asked, wait, I don't understand. We know that Hazal telling us, when a person gets a lot of blessing and a lot of abundance in this world, okay, that's mean, lichora, allegedly, that means that he's losing from the world to come. Why? Because if he get in this world a blessing, abundance, he get prosperity, they go in the world to come, he's not going to get so much. That's the question that he asked. How can it be? So how can a person can be besimcha v'samachta? You should rejoice, you should be happy. He said like this, no. He said the Torah told you v'samachta. Don't worry that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has v'shalom going to reduce from your merit for the world to come, from all your thing that you're supposed to get in the world to come. When you bringing the mitzvah of bikurim, when you bring the Bikurim, and you bring it up to Yerushalayim, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, remember that, and he will never reduce from your merit. That means when you're giving from what HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't take it from you. That means today we don't have Bikurim. A person that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hashem, bless him to give tzedakah, and he gives tzedakah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't reduce from the world to come, from his portion to come in the world to come. That's one opinion. I saw another opinion of Rabbi Shlomo Kohen Rabinovich. Rabbi Shlomo Kohen Rabinovich, born 219 years ago in Poland. And in his book, Tiferet Shlomo, he explained the verse a bit differently. And he explained it like this. He explained, and he said like this. It says, "V'samachta bechol hatov asher natan lecha Hashem Elokecha," that you should rejoice with all the goodness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given you, the Almighty. And he explained it beautifully like this. And he said, in fact, when a person gets a present from a king, a human being, he's very happy with the present. And in fact, he doesn't care about the value of the present. What does he care? He cared that the king given him a present. He said that, the same here, that you should rejoice and be happy with what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the King of all the King, the Almighty, given you. That means you know when you can be happy, when you see that your fruit, that your land, that the abundance, the prosperity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you, you shouldn't be happy only just with the money that you receive, with the physical. You should be happy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given you that. That means the same like a human being is happy when he receives a present from a human king, lehavdil, a human being, from a king. You should be happy that you received it from the King of all the King, the Almighty. Don't just be happy with the value that you get. That's not the main issue. V'samachta bechol hatov asher natan lecha Hashem Elokecha. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself given it to you. That you should be happy because he brought the abundance on you. That's what you should be happy. And now we can understand that verse, what it means, v'samachta bechol hatov. That you should be happy with all the abundance, all the goodness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given you. Let's move to verse 27, verse 8. 27, 8. And here we see something a bit interesting that the Torah tells us. Listen to what it said. וכתבת על האבנים את כל דברי התורה הזאת באר היטב.
You shall inscribe on the stones all the words of this Torah well clarified.
Okay. On the Parashat of the דברים, הקדוש ברוך הוא tell משה רבנו to write all the rebuke and all the blessing and all the curses basically on a big stone before the enter Eretz Israel. And the question is why? Why is it so necessary? So we brought in the past one commentary that by that you write it on a big stone, all Bnei Israel will see it and all Bnei Israel will understand all those blessings and all of those curses. And from that, they learn what to do. But I saw a commentary of Rabbi Elimelech Milizank. Rabbi Elimelech Milizank, born 303 years ago in a city of Titkin in Poland. And he explained like this. He said, look what it says. וכתבת על האבנים, and she write it on a big stone. כל דברי התורה, all the rebuke, the blessing, and the curses, okay? באר היטב. What it means באר היטב? he explained like this. He said that you should understand and you should explain it properly. What it means, understand and explain it properly? He said that because you write it on a big stone, that the future Rabbi, the future tzaddikim, okay, the Talmidei Chachamim that coming, they can explain to the generation that will come, okay, and interpret it, all of those rebuke and all of those curses on a good way, in a good manner. What it means in a good manner? He said that you should explain it so good that you can turn the cursing to mitzvot. That's mean in a power. If you look carefully what it says, Rabbi Elimelech Milizan, that means a rabbi can change a decree from bad to good. How? But that it said by Ereitev, that means if you righteous enough, if you Talmid Chacham, it's in your power to change the decree. That means in your power, it's to change the curses to blessing. And that's the secret here, says Rabbi Elimelech Milizan, that the rabbi can get a permission, okay, and they can change curses to blessing. Difficulty to easy way. Now, all of you are going to ask immediately how. You know that many people say, I'm going to the rabbi to get a blessing. Why you daven, you don't daven yourself? So the simple and the pshat of the dvarim, when you go to a rabbi to bless you or to daven for you or to do something for you, how does it work? Because the rabbi is more connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when he daven for you, it's not that he make miracle, not at all. He asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu because he have a direct line better than you have to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he'll daven in the behalf of you to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to help you to change the decree, to help you with parnasa, to help you with health, with every sort. And that's the secret. The secret is not that the rabbi himself can make miracle. A rabbi can't make anything. A rabbi can daven for you and ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, on behalf of you, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will change the decree. That's all. And that's what it's come to tell us. וכתבת על האבנים את כל דברי התורה באר היטב. What does it mean באר היטב? Explain to him properly. And if you explain properly, it's in your power also to change the curses to blessing. Now we understand what Rabbi Elimelech Milizan mean, why we have to write those blessings, that the future generation will understand and the future rabbi can explain and interpret it, all of it in a good manner, not only in a bad. That means that the job of the rabbi is to try to do anything good and not has v'shalom to speak bad. I would like to conclude in the same chapter in verse 11. I'm not going to speak about the klalot, that means the curses, but I'm going to mention them. But let's see what it says in verse 11. It says like this, ויצב משה את העם ביום ההוא לאמור.
Moses commanded the people on that day, saying.
That's all. Can you believe it? What there is to explain on that verse? A matter of fact, there is here a secret. The secret, how to be saved from the curses. And listen, the Gaon Chida that we mentioned earlier, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, say if you take the word et ha'am bayom ha'u, that means the nation, okay, the nation in that day. That means that you're going to get a command. Moshe command the nation on that day. That means if you take the word et ha'am bayom ha'u, here there is a hint for you. If you take the acronym of the last four words, et, it's aleph, hey for the am, bet for bayom, and hey hahu, you're going to get the word ahava, love. He said, if you want to be saved from all the curses, live in peace and harmony one with each other. Love the Jewish people. That means ahavat hinam. He said like this. He said that if you take what's happening in the second temple, what caused the destruction? Sinat hinam. He said if you take the word ahava and you implant it and you apply it, what does it mean? To love every Jew, each one of us love each other, you get the word ahava. Ahava, it means ahavat hinam. If you're going to live in peace and harmony, one with each other, that's going to change and going to save you from the curses. You say, come, I'll give you another secret. In this parsha, there is 98 curses. The gematria of 98, it's also hinam. Het, nun, mem sofit. If you do the gematria, 98. He said that the curses that it's a hinam, you can change them quickly. How do you change it? By ahavat hinam. Instead of sinat hinam, baseless hatred, you can change it to ahavat hinam. Okay? To love with no reason, that can change the curses to what? To blessing. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy on us, will change all the curses that there is on us, will say enough to that plague that we have at the moment, that called COVID-19, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will stop and say, please God, refuah shlema lekol chole amo Yisrael. And in merit of Ahavat Hinam, we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen, ken yeh ratzon. Any question? Shirkoach, thank you.
Rav, thank you so much. Unbelievable.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone want to ask question? Chavod,
Sorry,
question.
Rabbi, it says in the curse, it says, you'll bring your nation from far whose tongue you won't understand. Was that like the Germans? He was referring to the Babylonians.
Wait.
Bring a nation from afar, some nation from afar whose tongue you won't understand. You'll besiege the city. Was that you're talking like the Holocaust net? Moshe Rabbeinu says it. In the
Vayishlach Hashem elecha, yeah, a nation. So if you look there, I mentioned it in my previous shiurim. What it say? Here it said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send a nation like the eagle. What was the symbol of the Nazis? The eagle. It say here, I mentioned it 3 years ago, that here HaKadosh Baruch Hu hinting to Bnei Israel, if you're not going to follow my Torah, I'm going to send a nation on you. A nation that will use the eagle. And we know that what was the symbol besides the swastika of the Nazis? The eagle. They used to have an eagle on it.
Yeah.
And if you look, that they have a wing always. And that's what it means, V'yid'ei Nesher, Sherkoach. That means that the Nazi already mentioned in Sefer Dvarim.
Wow. Quite frightening.
Wow.
Any
It's
other
amazing.
question? Otai? Guys, question, don't be shy.
And it was
Sorry,
the
who
Tefillim.
asking?
So again, Rabbi Levy said, and they'll feel you. There was he talking about the Tefillim, Moshe, he said, and the feel of Hashem will be upon you. Was he referring to the Tefillim? Something.
Where do you see it? Sorry, I'm not with you because I
Something
don't.
about the fear.
Where do you see it? Let me just go there quick. Let me go
upon you.
there. I'm looking. Yeah. 1 second. Bum. Wait. I'm looking there. Okay, here's all the curses. I'm going there. Okay, not here. דתיך, כן, ובעליך, כן. שמעו, מותיך, כן, נפטר, לא תעשו, והיה אם לא תשמע, אוקיי, וישיגוך, כן, and that's what you're speaking.
Yeah, okay.
ישלח השם בך את המארה, המהומה והמגרעת, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so what does it say here? That if you look carefully, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually telling, he revealing to Bnei Israel, but we have to have eyes to understand, a heart to understand, a brain to have wisdom, to understand what it say here. It say, look here, it say, Yakeh Hashem b'shigaon u'b'ivaron b'timhon halev, that people will not going to see and can't understand. And we know what's happened in the Holocaust. Many of the Jewish people lived in the illusion that the German, the so-culture people, no one believed that such cultural people will do that. Yeah. What happened? When the devil come out of the closet, they didn't understand what hit them. Everything it say here, everything is mentioned here. We just have to have eyes to understand and to look, and a brain, a bit of wisdom.
Rav, can I ask you, because this is very pivotal, were there, because there were many Rabbonim and there were many, the Rav of Luxembourg actually said, and he arranged for people to leave. Maybe there were great Rabbonim that saw this verse and knew when the Germans, that Mamsha was time to go, and maybe here was the remes, that the Germans were going to do what they were going to do. Could it be?
Nachon, for sure, they knew. But
they couldn't believe.
But it said, the Torah tells us, Ki tetzeh esh basadeh, when a fire come into the field, ve'achel gadish im gdi. That means when the fire come, it's not only that the straw that can be burned. What's happened? Also gdi. Gdi, what it means a gdi? A gdi is the rabbi. That when the plague coming, matchila batzadikim. Why? So they're not going to daven to stop it.
You know, Rav, I just want to mention
that we don't understand. We don't understand. Many of those rabbis returned back. It was a rabbi. He was in America. He returned back to his student. He didn't want to leave them by themselves alone, and he died in the Holocaust.
They told him, "Don't go back." It was Reb Elchanan Wasserman.
That's it. And what happened to Rabbi?
He mamish went back and he was killed. He was the Rav of Nevada. Yeah,
absolutely. What does it say there? Look, it says like this: Isa Hashem alecha goy merachok. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will actually bring a Gentile, a nation from far away. Miktzeh haaretz, from the end of the earth. Kasher yid'ei hanesher, goy asher lo tishma leshono. Goy az panim, full of chutzpah. Who was full of chutzpah? The Nazis.
Yeah.
How can you sit and listen to music?
Yeah.
While other people get burned, what other people get gassed, other people get shot. Okay? Listen what it says. Asher lo yisa panim lezaken v'na'ar lo yachon. That means for the elderly and for the youngster. He wouldn't have mercy, not on the elderly and not on the youngster. Isn't that?
It's unbelievable.
And look what it says. Look what it's continue. Ad ishmitcha asher lo yishaer lecha dagan. He wanted to destroy everything. Nothing was left from you. Do you understand? That's what he wanted to do to us, the Nazis. Yemach shemo v'zichro Hitler. Everything is written here. We just need eyes to see.
Wow.
And how to understand and
this is unbelievable. Sure.
Everything is written. They didn't have mercy on the elderly. They didn't have mercy on a youngster. It's a goy that you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't believe. It's say here, everything it said.
Can I just say something, Rav? You know, they were prepared to lose their own homeland. When they begged to have trains to defend themselves, they were more prepared to send the Yidden to the gas chambers than to defend their own homeland.
Absolutely. That's
Killing
how
Jews was more
horrible.
important than defending their own people.
Exactly.
It's lo yaman. It's lo yaman. Who would ever? Well, killing another person is more important than saving your own people. It's hard to understand.
Dr. Les, it wasn't just the killing, it was the hatred that they have against us.
Yeah.
Akadosh Baruch Hu planted hatred like you never see. Dr. Mengele, Yimach Shemo V'Zichro.
Yeah.
The Admor Mikalev that died like a year ago. Did you look at his face? The Admor
Yeah.
Mikalev lived in
Yeah.
Eretz Israel. He explained that he was a Holocaust survivor. He explained that Mengele experiment on him.
Yeah.
And he said, whatever I'm going to tell you, I can't express what he have done to him. If you look at his face, nothing can grow. He didn't have a hair. Why? Because Mengele experiment. You know what they used to do to pregnant women? It's not hatred. It's not just to kill.
It goes
It's
beyond.
understanding. And that's what it's in the Parsha.
Wow. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah. It's not for us to judge. Kadosh Baruch Hu have his Hishbonot Shamayim we don't understand. But I heard the Rav Ben Porat. Rav Ben Porat his parents is a Holocaust survivor, and he explained, he's historian by profession. And Rav Ben Porat explained, you know what is it happening? Many of the Rabbonim said it's not a joke. Because the assimilation in Germany that they call Berlin, Jerusalem.
The new Jerusalem, sure.
You understand?
Yeah, but
So
it's hard to.
the reform movement
Yeah.
consider Berlin as Jerusalem. Akadosh Baruch Hu can't accept that. It's not for us to judge. I'm not allowed to say. I'm just saying what other people say.
Yeah.
And today, what I don't understand, that there is Israelis going back to Germany to get a passport. What do you have to do in Germany?
Vienna as well. Vienna, all the shuls except for the great one, which they couldn't destroy because it was in a compound. Every shul in Kristallnacht was destroyed in Vienna, and there's a big from Kehila there now.
Lithuania as well is also. People are going to get passports for Lithuania too.
Yeah.
All over Europe, all of Europe full of blood of the Jewish people. Spain also. Portugal also. With the Spanish Inquisition, how they used to torture the people.
Portugal.
We don't understand. But here we're speaking especially, if you look, the swastika mentioned here, the swastika with a wing. Asher idei nesher. A nesher is an eagle. Here it's mentioned. Goy asher lo yirachem, lo al nar velo al zaken. Not on a child, that means children, and not on elderly people.
Wow.
Here is it, all in front of us. Now, I've never done the March of Life, and I don't think that I can do it because I can't. I'm very sensitive. But I think, Dr. Les, you was there.
I was with Rabbi Edler. We were 2 years, and then 4 years ago we were with Hugh Reichland in Litauen, and Belarus and Latvia.
When you walk just through the gas chamber and just to think the screaming that was there, and to see the shoes in Yad Vashem, as we used to be kids, they're taking all the kids to Yad Vashem. I don't have to tell you, Dr. Les. Just to imagine all of that.
So I'll
just to imagine that I'm standing there and people were screaming and shouting. I wouldn't sleep at night. It's not for me. Personally, I don't know.
In Majdanek, it's right next to Lublin. You can see the city of Lublin right from Majdanek, and they've still got the original camp with the original gas chamber. And Ella Blumenthal was inside the gas chamber, and there's scratch marks on the walls. You see it. You see the blue. For me, it was the worst place on earth, is Majdanek. They haven't changed it. They haven't renovated it. Now they're starting to. But when we were there, It was as if in the time of the Shoah. And it's horrendous. It's the worst Gehenna on earth. It's not, what can be worse than that?
Yeah, we can understand. And if a person tell you that he understand, he's a great liar. Because until you've been in someone's shoes, you can't understand. And please God, we will never understand.
Yeah.
Please God, we'll see Mashiach speedily in our day, and he say enough to all the chores that our nation had. Our nation have enough chores. It's enough.
You know, Rob, I want to just tell something positive. When I saw Ella Blumenthal, who's in Cape Town, so she lost her whole family except for a niece and a brother-in-law that came to Israel. She's a descendant of the Amshonova. She went through Mamsh Gehenna. She was in the Warsaw Ghetto, Majdanek, Auschwitz, Bergen-Belsen. And then she goes to shul every Shabbos. She's now turned 99. And I asked her, how's your emunah? She said, Hashem is around me all the time. I'm never alone. Hashem is around me all the time. So that's nice. We have people that went through it and remained from. And she goes to shul every Shabbos. She remained from. That's the nice. That's the greatest nakama. That's the greatest revenge we have.
The greatest revenge is when you go there with the flag of Israel. And you mark
Israel high. And you say, Israel
there's
high.
no other to show them that we still here and you all disappear.
Yeah.
Am Israel high.
Yeah.
Rav, it's also the story of Rav Kahanaman, who went to Rome and he insisted on going to the Arch of Titus. And the tour guide said, what do you want to go there for? He said, no, I want to go and stand there. And he said, he stood by the Arch and said, Ich bin da, I'm here, where are you?
Yeah.
True.
There's no better revenge. But these people can do it. I can't imagine myself walking through those pathways.
It's very hard.
I'm a different person. Each one is different. I'm more sensitive. It's not, but I'm saying, and I agree with both of you, Stephen and Dr. Les, there's no better revenge. There's no better revenge. We are still here. You are off. You disappeared. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wipe you off. And that's most probably what this lady said. HaKadosh Baruch Hu with me. Why is he with her? Because she's still here to tell the story, 99. But please God, until 120, healthy.
And she's got a family and she's got children and great-grandchildren. Baruch Hashem.
You know, I saw a story. It's a beautiful, actually, video. I sent it, I think, on the group in Yom Ha'atzmaut. And it said like this. There is a granny that she's a Holocaust survivor. And a grandson is Israeli pilot on the Defense Force. Wow. And he said to her, Granny, I'm gonna soon, he's phoning her on a cell phone, I'm soon gonna pass your house. Please go up to the top of your building and I'm gonna pass. Now I'm flying over you. And she waved to him. And she said, that's give me the greatest honor and privilege. Why? Because I remember when the Nazis used to bomb us, when they used to fly over. And today my grandson, he's a pilot in Israeli Defense Force. When I'm saying it, all my body go goosebump. So we can understand what better revenge there is.
Rob, I have to
there,
say
they're not there. We are still here. Am Yisrael Ham.
Can I just say this to you? Unfortunately, you gave, it was very, I'm so glad that you gave the shir on Sali Ganor, but literally 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, he was nifta. It was very sad. He was 93. Really? Yeah, it wasn't from the COVID. He just wasn't well. And on the day that he was nifta, his daughter-in-law, I should have let you know, but I was just so upset myself. His daughter-in-law, Naomi, told me at the Levy, that was the day that the Israeli Air Force flew over Dachau. And from Kovno, Sali was taken to Dachau, where he was forced labor. He had to build an underground bunker. And from Dachau, he was taken on the death march. And Mamash, on the day that he was nifta, that they had the Levy, that was the day, the only time ever the Israeli Air Force has ever flown over Dachau. It happened now. It happened 2 weeks ago. It's like, it's not coincidence. It's Min HaShamayim. It really.
Everything is from Shamayim. You know,
it's incredible.
Les, if you took the word במקרה, coincidence, נכון? במקרה, if you translate it, it's במקרה, it's coincidence. Take the acronym, if you change it, רק מהקדוש ברוך הוא.
Wow.
There's no coincidence. רק מהקדוש ברוך הוא.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Sure. Raf, thank you so much. That's incredible. What chizuk. Wow.
Guys, just hope that, let me end up with something good. Please, God, look after yourself. Keep safe. Keep distance. Do whatever you can. And Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us. And those 98 curses that we have in the Parsha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will change them to blessing. If we'll have Ahavat Hinam, if we love Israel. And it doesn't make a difference if I'm wearing a kippa sruga, or I'm wearing kippa shchora, or I'm wearing whatever I'm wearing. Ahavat Israel, if we love one each other, no variable, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will change the curses to blessing to all of us, and we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. Guys, have a good Shabbos. All the best. Thank you for listening. All the best. Thank you for everything. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everything. Thanks.
Bye.